Did you follow the 2008 election very well?
Not really.
Like, did anybody follow it? No.
Maybe you want to. Maybe there's a perspective you want to bring on board.
Yeah, we are listening. I was there
in 2008 elections.
Yeah, I was contesting as a member of parliament for Ashama constituency.
Oh, okay. In 2008 elections, I think 2-3 months to the elections, the NDC flooded the streets. Almost every constituency. I was in Akweta constituency then. Almost every constituency with flyers of presumed bank accounts of NPP ministers. So they have Osafo Manfo, they write 100 million Ghana cedis attached to it. Then they'll pick Hakma Usajman, they write 92 million Ghana cedis attached to it. President Akufo, his was in the billions. Yeah. Do you understand? Ali Mahama was in the billions.
In millions or billions?
Yeah, in the billions.
Millions
of Ghana cedis.
Millions.
They flooded it on the street. It wasn't as if they were even sharing it to home. You wake up in the morning and this thing all over the streets. And it really worked for them. It happened in 2008. What they have done with this aura is a sophisticated one. Because they did it in 2008 and they realized that people will not buy into that in 2024. They need to come with a sophisticated one, well documented. So what they did was simple. They got somebody, all right, who's painted himself like the saint to put this agenda of aura, and the name of that person is Mr. Samuel Kujatabla. He made Ghanaians believe that the NPP government, all right, has stolen a tune of 21.4 billion Ghana cedis. Sorry, dollars, not even Ghana cedis. $21.4 billion. And if any Ghanaian, as at now, or even then, thought that the government officials or government functionaries could steal to the tune of $21.4 billion, then that person is being delusional. Look at our size of our economy. Then you tell me that a group of people stole $21.4 billion dollars. How did that make sense? But the problem that we were facing as a government was that people were so angry with us. Our communication was down, and I need to admit, our communication was down. So we were not there. We couldn't have that communication to counter it. It was a problem, and it's still a problem. Secondly, people were also having issues with their economy. So the least thing that they had, it got them angry. Also a fact. I mean, some few months down the line, when they won the elections, Okudjata Ablakwe again put up an oral document, which I have here. And I must say that in the history of Ghanaian politics, if you want to see a compilation of garbage, this is a refuse dump. It's this document called Ora. Okudjato. This is what they did.
But you haven't read the document. How do you know it's garbage?
I read it.
Okay.
That's why I have it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've read it.
Okay.
Page to page.
You've read it?
Yeah, I've read it.
Okay.
Now, when they came to power, that says February 2025, first report from your media house, it said we can retrieve 21.19 billion from 36 oral cases. 21.19 billion dollars, not cedis, dollars from 36 oral cases. Then your old media house again.
Okay, I think that's another media house, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's not associated to you.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's GH1. He says, Ora can retrieve 20.49 billion with 36 cases, including the National Cathedral and the PDS. Samuel Okudjata Ablakwe. This is 10 February 2025. Then some few weeks, or let's say about 9 months later, after the oral committee has been set, all this noise has been made about it. They have incited people against the previous government that they've stolen so much, and they will use even that money to even run the economy. Because when they were even campaigning and people were asking them, you are talking about doing this, running a 133 shift, so how are you going to get money to do it? You want to cancel this tax and that tax and that tax. So where are you going to get money from? Their answer was simple. Ora. The money is in Ora. They have stolen so much. So we just go for the money from Ora and use it to run the economy. That was what they were saying. That was their chorus. 9 months down the line, one of their partners in ORA, Mr. Domlevo, and this is 23rd October 2025, he says, ORA data including garbage entries collected without verification. So you see, the basis for the establishment of this document, which they used to drum this the previous government out of power. Your own person, Domlevo, is saying that it was full of garbage. Without verification.
Included.
Full of garbage.
No, he didn't say full of. I mean, you're having the document right in front of you, what the man says.
Yes.
He says included. He never said it was full of garbage.
Again.
He didn't say that.
Again.
No, I just want us to clear that, is it? He didn't say it was full of garbage, did he?
Yusufu and Salifu are awful.
No, I mean, but this is...
There's garbage.
No, if you're quoting someone...
So let's agree.
If you're quoting someone, you have to put them right.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
He never said it was full of garbage.
I agree with you, there's garbage. I agree with you, but there's garbage.
Well, if that's your interpretation of it...
I agree with you, but there's garbage. Then, a year down the line, the Attorney General goes on an interview with Bolare. Then, he's asked about ORA.
Yes.
Then he states, and I'll read it to you. Said, the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Mr. Dominic Ayinini, has downplayed claims that Operation Recover All Loot Committee can retrieve 20.49 billion for the state, describing the figure as inaccurate and based on rough estimate. Inaccurate and based on rough estimates. Last year, Mr. Samuel Okudota claimed that the ORA committee was handling about 36 cases and projected a potential $20.49 billion for the country. However, speaking on Star Chat with Bolare on Thursday, Mr. Ayeni said that the projection earlier hinted by ORA committee chairman and now Minister for Foreign Affairs has created unnecessary pressure on his office. But what was he expecting? If you tell people or tell your party base, you incite them and tell them that we are going to take $20 billion from the previous government, a functionaries of the previous government, and push it back to the economy, or we are going to jail them, and 1 year down the line, you are not seeing anything, what do you expect them to do? Is it the pressure they'll put on you? This is just akin to what happened in the 70s, or let's say the 80s, the early 80s, of the Let the Blood Flow, people accusing the military government of corruption. Now, they set up a committee, a kangaroo court, and just took them to a firing squad. It is just akin to the same thing. That is what's happening today. I am not saying that with this whole ORA issue, there won't be 1 or 2 issues within, or prosecution, proper prosecutions within. But this 20.49 billion is a scam. Mr. Samoku Jata lied to the people of this country that they can retrieve $20.49 billion. And all of us doing politics, all of us into politics, all of us who follow the current affairs of this country know what $20.49 billion is. This is a country that goes to IMF and go for $150 million. This is a country that on several occasions, under President Akufo Addo, under GM1, then I think under Prof. Mills, all right? There were times that this government tried to get a loan at the tune of even $2 to $3 billion and you couldn't get it. Then somebody can sit down, just create about $20.4 billion, and everybody followed it. Everybody followed the frenzy because people were hungry, the economy was tight, and an angry man, and a hungry man is an angry man.
He says it's full of lies. You're about to. So you have evidence.
No, don't worry. I'm not even.
I'm just mindful of the time. That's
currently. So let me wrap it up. Currently, going through my phone. Yeah. All right. I think this week also. Yeah. This week, the Minister for Government Communication, Mr. Felix Ofukache, Honorable, he stated that
1.5 billion.
He said 1.5 billion
assets, yes,
has been recovered from a frozen asset. You see, what they are doing is the same thing that they did with the ORA thing. You are telling me that the state has been able to freeze 1.5 billion from people who are alleged to be part of corrupt issues or corrupt practices. 1.5 billion, not 1.5 million, 1.5 billion. Do you know that asset called 1.5 billion Ghana cedis?
So, all throughout your point, you just seem to be raising doubts, but what's your evidence that all these figures are not true?
Okwudi said,
yes.
They have 36 cases that could get the state 20.49 billion.
Yes.
Now, different person, government spokesperson comes and says that. He says, and I'm trying to quote what he said at the parliament. He said, Mr. Speaker, I can report to you that 1.5 billion Ghana cedis in assets have been frozen by people undergoing investigation and those before the court, and that include those who are involved in 280 oral cases. Mm-hmm. You have moved from 36 cases. That gives you 20.
Oh, but I mean,
to 280.
You know that the portal was open. You know the portal was open.
You know where I'm going? Yeah. Look, we will force this government to disclose all those people who are under investigation and their amount allocated to that said corrupt act, and that property and those properties that were also frozen from those people, because the right to information bill, we are going to do it. We will do it because we allow this oral thing, all right, to just go on like that with no issue.
Okay.
We didn't issue a counter to it. Yeah. We just took it as the politics as usual. But for this one, the Minister for Government Communication will have to provide us with the evidence. By Monday, Tuesday, yes, Monday, Tuesday, we are going to file the RTI for the information of all those assets and those individuals involved in it. I do not support corruption because, you see, I pay income tax. I am not part of the people who don't pay taxes, or I'm not part of the people who don't pay direct tax. So when you check amount of taxes that you pay within a month, and you see how much you are paying, and they are saying that someone or some people are just taking all of it. It doesn't matter the political party or the divide that you are. It will get you angry.
Okay, you know what? Samson, let me hear from you. Let me hear from you on this.
Well, I'm shocked and surprised by my younger brother here. So 2016, there was an election in Ghana. 2008 election, I was running a candidate in the Ashama constituency as PNC. Parliamentary candidate. But 2016, did you remember that his party described the current president at the time as incompetent? Mahama. And it was everywhere. It was everywhere. It was a brand name at the time. And based on that, the NDC lost the election miserably. So when it comes to election with strategies in communication, my brother, it's not like, and at the time, rightly so at the time, there was pressure. Ghanaians was angry with the government at the time. Guess same thing happened in 2024 elections when Ghanaians realized that the NPP government really put this economy into disarray. Even at the point that when the president at the time, former President Akufo Addo now, at the time was having over thousands of presidential handlers, staffers, and asking ordinary citizens that we should fasten our belt. Then we were asking that they reduce your government size. For me to show me significance that I should fasten my belt. When there were COVID levies, and we said COVID is gone, Ghanaians were angry at the time. So there were so many things. When the e-levy, we said we don't want e-levy. You said e-levy must come. The worst now was the domestic exchange program. That one person in your government, one person, I won't say it's the whole government, wake up in the night and said, look, domestic exchange program. So haircut. To the extent that even people who have tried for Ghana, serve Mother Ghana, and that is why we are talking about, I was talking about patriotic, and again I said, if someone has served Ghana, retired, honesty, dignity, and he has his benefit or his money, and he invests into government bond, and one person will come and say, look, I am postponing your coupons payment. And people who have to, old age, will have to go to the ministries to cry, meh. That alone could make you lose power. And nobody seemed to care about it at the time. One person wake up with a stroke of a pen. He said, Commissioner Banks, I am collapsing you. spending 9 billion to rescue you. You end up spending almost 12 something or so, or more, 20 something billion. Until then, people are still locked up. And people have lost jobs. So Ghanaians were really strategically angry for the government. You remember, he's talking about if the government said the frozen asset worth of 1.5 billion. He said asset, I don't think that's the end of the cases on the ORA. That is an aspect, a fraction of the ORA. So I will also be happy that he should go to RTI.
Yeah, he says RTI. That's what they plan
to compel government to name the sort of people that assets that they've been frozen, and it's costing us it's worth for Ghana taxpayer for 1.5 billion. If it's a relief that at least people are hearing that the government have really done something, than it being silent as it is at current. PDS, who didn't know the PDS has actually also brought issues to us? PDS brought issues to us. And so if the government, they were talking about PDS in other cases, I think they were in the right direction. But you also remember that the previous government, because they knew very well, I'm sure someone wanted to convince the president at the time, the former president now, that let's go to parliament and get a law, or there's some law that if I've stolen your set, your clock, right, your coat, then when you cut to me, then I come to say, okay, I'll pay. And even give me a payment plan.
Yeah.
When someone will still cook Bodia in the road, they take him to police station. He goes to prison. Obiako, we are Aponchi goat. He goes to prison. And you have stolen billions, and you have to, that pleading bargaining. I am angry with the current government. If President Mama is listening to me, I'm angry. Because President Mama has, his party and his government has majority in parliament. They should have struck that law away. That law should have been repealed. That plea bargain, because I don't know, Fifi Kwete said something. He said people are, his own party people are pleading for some people. You remember Fifi Kwete got angry somewhere and said that? Yeah. Because of that pleading bargaining. I think the Attorney General should not accept pleading bargaining. We should retrieve it and you go to jail.
The question is, 20 billion, he says it's exaggerated, so the money may not be as much.
Even if they are able to even get 10 billion for it from the 36 cases, they've still done something. The government must do something. Because, as he said, it was one of the clerical call that the NDC at the time made, and we were all angry. And we saw, when they go to the cathedral, look at the amount of money that has been paid for the cathedral. That's the cathedral. Look at, if you go to Palugu Tomatoes Factory, Palugu Pepos Dam, the amount that 12 billion or so, right? Or is it million dollars has been paid? Is it million or correct?
I'm not sure of the figures. Probably we'll check that up.
I think, Ivan, you have the figures?
Yeah,
is it $12 million?
We'll try and look it up.
12 million, right?
Actual figure.
Yeah, it's about 12 million that they paid. Look, from Saviligu to Walawale to Bolga, the road was awarded to a contractor. Do you know they paid the money and there's no job done? So this is a money that they can retrieve. The government can retrieve these monies. And even prosecute people who have paid these monies. Because there's no work done. And you say, including contractors, you know, the government, when the government gives contract to a road contractor or whatever, they have another technical people required. What do they call it? They go to inspect. That's government advice. Go to inspect.
Yeah, but I guess he's trying to say that the NDC just took advantage of the political atmosphere and created a perception of corruption against the SWAL NPP government.
When they were, that's why I asked it in 2016 when they said there were corruption, man was incompetent. When they came, how many people did they put in jail? Apart from the NCA. After Abu Gapele, it was tried, the initiative was started, began during President Mama. Is that not it? So these two political parties, they are like Akoko and Akweleba. They are the same fellas. They will always watch, zoom to their cameras, see something, say something, bring it, then we all got it. However, I hope.
Are you happy with the progress report on oral, or you feel that a lot more should be done?
No, a lot more should be done. And I'm surprised the Attorney General who appeared before Bolare said his office is flooded with pressure. Of course, the report was presented to the President. And President Mama referred to the appropriate context. He should come to advise, having looked into the report before me, this 36 that was said, no, it is not. When I look, evidence base is 20 at 10. and not 36. Government should be transparent. Nobody will cut their neck off that, oh, why did they say 36 and now it is 10? But you must, people that you should go, you should prove. If you go to court, it's not about oral document. It's about the evidence before the judge.
Yeah.
It's about getting the person to know that the person, and that is why I'm saying that this plea bargaining thing, you have given a leeway to people to come and go. Okay.
Yeah, but the AG has told us that he's rejected all these offers so far, and that he's not working with that. We've heard him say that.
So why didn't you go to Parliament to abolish that law?
The law, okay.
The law should be abolished because once it's still sitting in our books, anybody can go to court and say, look, I have gone to them. He rejecting doesn't mean that if the person gets to the law court, the person can say, there's this option, and I have gone to say, look, I will pay. Yeah. And the Attorney General rejected it. But if the judge admitted and said, okay, yes, this is a law, and nobody has come to court to challenge, nobody has gone to Supreme Court to challenge it, it has not been struck. Once it has not been struck and it's still sitting in our books, it's a law. And so for that matter,
it can be used.
It can be used.
Ivan, here we are. He says, well, everything in oral is exaggerated.
I think it's very interesting to say the least. I think I heard something like the NDC took advantage of the political situation.
Yes, that's what he's saying.
Yeah, that is quite an overwhelming statement. The question is, what was the political situation that the NDC took advantage of? That is what you need to delve deeper into what that particular situation was. You see, people handed over this country to President Akufo Addo on the assumption that things were going to be done differently from what President Mahamadu did in 2016. That was the sort of impression where the 14 Ghanaians gave that particular power. It got to a middle of it and they realized that that wasn't the agenda the government was into prosecute. It turned out to be something different. It started with a reckless mismanagement of our economy. The numbers got to some level that became so, the debt level became so unsustainable. We were in the market borrowing as if there were no tomorrow. So these were the actual situation on the ground at the time that infuriated the people of this country. It got to a time political corruption became so visible to the extent that you could touch it. And this wasn't the NDC, because Ghana is not an NDC environment. It's an environment for Ghanaians. They felt it. PDS was an obvious reality and a classic example of corruption, which the president at the time should have investigated. What became of it? They sat aloof and watched on. That is why the president got the name, he was named the clearing agent, because under him, we are here today. Today, people are making noise about ORA because at the time, the president failed to do what he was supposed to do. That was to investigate many of the cases. Because you see, as a government, you end up being armed with the resources of the country, both human and financial. When allegations are made, it is your job as a government, because you have the resources of the country, to delve deeper, investigate and authenticate or otherwise of these investigations. But none of these issues were subjected to criminal inquiry. So it piled up and Ghanaians became so much convinced that indeed there were real acts of corruption. And you see, the impact of corruption were actually felt in this particular country, because you see, when people begin to steal so much, it will have a turning effect on the economy. So if you look at the economic numbers, all the rating agencies, Moody's, Fitch, S&P, these are credible rating agencies around the globe. They all rated Ghana junk. It got to a time we could not even go to the bond market to borrow. It got to a time we had to default on our debt obligation, to the extent that for so many years in this particular country, we have to truncate investment of local people through the DDEP.
Ivan, how does that amount to the 20
I'll
billion?
come there, don't worry. I'm explaining the political situation. He wanted a political situation.
So you want to paint
So
the
the political situation was a messy creation of the Akufo Addo government. His failure and the reckless negligence to investigate some of these situations that actually occasioned and created the political situation. So you cannot blame NDC, you cannot blame anybody. These were the realities that average ordinary Ghanaians, so-called neutrals, these were the realities they were living. Then Ghanaians wanted a certain decision and decisive action to be taken. Then President Mahamadu made a promise to the people of this country. When I will come out with this concept called ORA. ORA is what? ORA is when you are recovering all the stolen assets. You understand? So at the preliminary stage, an investigation was set up. First of all, let us correct this. ORA was not set up by Okudzato. It was the president initiative. So Okudzato was just a member of it, you understand? So when the committee was set up, their core job wasn't a forensic audit, but to engage Ghanaians. Listen to this particular case. They were to engage Ghanaians and get those issues of corruption to be tabulated so that it will be subjected to or will be handed over to a team or an agency with prosecutorial and investigative power to be able to delve deeper into. So on the face value, ORA could have come up with a lot of figures, you understand that, because these are the preliminary stage. None of it had been subjected to any criminal inquiry. So their job, as was handed to them by the president, you can read their terms of reference, was to engage Ghanaians and solicit some of this relevant information that will help the prosecutorial agencies to be able to delve deeper. So it is highly, I don't know, erroneous for anybody to sit on TV and say, ORA projected 20 billion, so 20 billion should be taken. You understand? I don't know if you get the argument. So on the face value, that is why the Attorney General on Borare's show made it quite clear that Okudzato's their mandate was to collect information from the people of this country on issues of corruption, and even I think they had to slash a lot of them out, and those with value, they at the time when ORA was in place, they did not have any investigative power to be able to investigate, to subject any of them to forensic inquiry. So their job was to amass all these documents and hand them over to the AG. You understand? So until the AG is done with the evaluation and the inquiries into the ORA document, you cannot sit and say ORA is a useless or is a scam. No. It means you do not understand the whole concept, because the whole concept of ORA was to engage Ghanaians, collect this information, and then hand it over to an agency with prosecutorial power and authority to be able to subject them to forensic inquiry and come out with a critical fact that will stand the test of prosecution in a court of law. You understand? So that is the whole thing about.
So what motivated the figures then?
That is what I'm saying, that you have been. This is a committee. This is a committee that has handed over a mandate to engage Ghanaians to solicit such critical information, because there were issues of corruption were plenty, and again, the issues or the cases that were handed over to ORA, the cases of corruption in Ghana is not limited to that particular thing. It's just a part of it, a fraction of it. There are several other cases of corruption on the other side which were not handed over to ORA. It's the reason why the minister went to Parliament and told Parliament that they have retrieved a certain amount from a certain number of cases. Such cases, they all come under the umbrella of ORA, because it is recovering all loot assets. It doesn't matter whether Okudzato's committee worked on it or any other committee. Wherever it came from, once we are recovering an asset, it falls under the umbrella ORA, because
do you
ORA
honestly think that the corruption allegations would amount to 20 billion?
Until the AG completes his investigation and the various prosecutions are done, we will not be able to. These figures, obviously, anybody knows these figures were tentative figures. Well, you understand? Exactly. I'm not sure Okudzato was fixed. He was fixed in his narrative by saying that we are going to get 20-point-something billion, and even that was not what the NDC used for the campaign. Because this ORA figure came after. So it is totally wrong for anybody to sit to accept that it was the figure that the NDC sold to the people of this country. At the time, there was no figure.
What do you say to him when he says oral is a scam?
I think that is one of those political propaganda. Yes, because I don't know. He said that without any basis. There is no justification.
No, he's brought some.
No. He's just banding documents. These are public documents. These documents are not his creation. You understand? These are public documents you can access. And I am saying that the interpretation you put on it, that will determine whether you are being candid to the situation. You know, this is politics. You can just, propaganda and those things. It's just a matter of just swaying people. But the fact of the matter is that the average Ghanaian today is very assertive, very critical. When you say some of these things, they will subject to the critical.
Are you saying that oral is not being slow? Is that the impression? Because his point is, if
there is no aura. There is no aura. Let's set that. There is no aura as a body, a committee. But recovering assets is in play, and now everything is with the Attorney General. Yes, I agree in terms of the slow pace. Criminal prosecution, takes time. But you see, that is what I'm saying. That prior to the election, there was this obvious reality that a certain corrupt practices have occasioned in this particular country. And we were expecting the then President Akufo Addo to have taken initiative. For instance, when Wontumi was accused to have, invaded our forest with a whole lot of stuff, he went to Koforidua and told the bishop that no, Wontumi had done nothing without having been privy to any shred of criminal investigation that had been done at the time. So he was clear. Today,
he was the president of the republic.
Yes.
He would have been briefed on the matters.
No, but you see, briefing alone wasn't enough. You understand?
So that's the same thing he's saying, that, well, you don't put out a figure.
No, I'm saying that
based on the reportage of people just telling you
see, it's understandable. That is a committee being handed a job to collect data from Ghanaians. Yes. After collecting those data, they put it together and put the face value on it.
Okay.
It's highly understandable. Then you hand it over to the appropriate agency to work on it. So if the Attorney General is telling you today that they need to go into them details to be able to, because the sort of assumptions that we make and the sort of projections that we make without having subjected such figures to critical scrutiny.
What I think is that the Attorney General should do us an honest by setting up a special tax committee.
Like another committee again, you mean?
At his minister's day, or in his minister's day, to properly work on this oral document.
Okay, dedication.
Yeah,
okay.
Oh, I work on this document and then come out to say, look, this were the case presented as. When we went to
this is the number of them.
These are the actual one that we are going to pursue. The other one is
okay. So I think Ghanaians are really worried about the slow pace of this whole prosecution because we are coming from a background where people became so much convinced and the obvious signatures were quite there. That massive corruption avocation in this particular country. And all these things were fact. People could not actually put an actual figure on it. But the fact is that PDS became a scam. So I think ORA being a scam should be substituted for PDS because PDS was a real scam. Look at the Westage that went into the National Cathedral. At the time, the economy was in crisis. At the time, people were forced to forgo their dividend. The government was forcefully using
but you see, Ivan, the operational word here is loot.
Listen, no.
Operation recover.
So that's what I'm saying. If you are familiar with portions of our constitution, political corruption is not just limited with what has been looted. It extends to willfully causing financial loss to the state. Yeah. So if you exercise poor discretion, silly discretion in terms of state resources, you can go to jail for that, you understand? And there are a series of examples, people pursued perverted priorities in this country because at the time the economy was in crisis, people were seriously sending people to Israel to go and pick stone to come and build, what do you call a national cathedral. All these things were wasted, you understand? So for me, I think it's too early to rubbish whatever oral document. Yeah. So we need to take time. The AG need to hasten properly because you see the energy of the public is a bit drawing low. And if you're a government and your energy is not in sync with the general public, you should know you'll be heading towards doom. So what the AG can do, I am not interested in this thing being limited.
Something is saying let's dedicate a committee again at the AG's
the last time when I came here, I told you that the office of the special prosecutor should be disbanded. And the president defended it. He said, no, it should be in play. Then I think some of these prosecutions should be handed over to him. You understand? Because the cases are one too many that the Attorney General alone will be overwhelmed dealing with some of these situations. What happens to the regional offices? You understand? If we really want to do active prosecution, because you see, at the end of the day, the average Ghanaian is not going to listen to anybody. They want to see the criminals who looted our money go to jail. They want to have their money being retrieved. There are people who are not even interested in just retrieval because the current criminal jurisprudence allow us to jail people at the same time, take our money. You understand?
Exactly.
So people have jail
and take our money is the best. It's the perfect two.
You don't want anything
to be bargaining.
So brother, something that's
people want to see people in jail. But in the past, people have gone to jail.
It entices people to do more. If they are pleaded and bargaining, then people also commit this kind of
as a young man, I'm worried because if you engage young people who are coming into politics, they are coming with a single mindset. It's an avenue where you can make money and become fabulously rich. So you see a lot of young people join the political bandwagon all in the name of we were living a certain lifestyle. And we have not been able to establish that conventional red line that scare people. Quite recently, I told you that the recent immediate past president of South Korea is in jail. He has been handed over a life sentence because of certain things that he did. So elsewhere, the powerful can face the branch of the state. But in our part of the world, the wealthy, the powerful always jump over.
China or Korea, they will hang
so that impression is what needs to be curtailed. Yes, you can have issues with the pace of prosecution, some of the issues raised, and a whole lot. But do not downplay the fact that because this is not NDC's agenda, this is a national agenda. Because if you go out to the street and ask any Ghanaian, it doesn't matter whether the person involved is NDC or NPP, who cares? If the person is an NDC, must be prosecuted. And I think that is the agenda that we need to stop this political.
I think it's a national agenda, not a scam, as you're calling it.
You see, since I started politics, active politics, right, I have never, ever seen any garbage like this oral. And I still maintain.
No, but I mean, let's be fair. At least we can. Even as of now.
And the reason why I'll tell you it's a compilation of garbage is that I will take you to some of the issues. All right? And I'll ask him on it. The 25 billion banking sector cleanup, who is under prosecution?
No. He said that there's prosecution going on. And I'm asking that. But there is nobody under prosecution because it was a lie. Nothing has been established. What was projected?
Don't go that tangent.
When you were talking,
don't do that.
When you were talking,
you invited me.
You were asking him.
Make good use of rhetorical questions.
No. Then don't reference me. Don't reference me.
That's fine. So let me talk.
Like so who would answer that?
No, they are not being fair.
I think so. You don't want to allow anybody. Okay. You were asking a question.
I'm asking you.
Yes, now you're asking me.
Luxurious presidential jet travels. Who is being under prosecution on this matter?
My goodness.
Not my goodness. Who is under prosecution on this matter?
Can I ask you a question?
The man will run away.
No. Because you don't want us to speak as well. So.
108 ambulance scandal. Who is under prosecution? Recently, this same government came and said they are going to buy new ambulances. I think even double the amount of ambulances that we even bought. They didn't say they are going to service their existing ambulance. Even if you tell me that they have problem with it, or even an engine problem, you can even import the engine in. But you are saying you are going to buy new ambulances. If we were to be in their case, they would have called it a scandal. But we didn't call it a scandal. We are saying it's a wasteful expenditure. Difference, a wasteful expenditure.
Did you read the...
so I'm telling you the issue of scandal contained a lot of...
Did you read the Auditor General's report on that, on the ambulance situation, for instance?
And what was the...
I mean, that document has been out since, in terms of the passing on.
Do you have it?
But
what was the conclusion? What was the conclusion?
But it's an audit finding. It points to the fact that some infractions were happening.
$130 million frontier COVID testing scandal.
Yes.
The Nigerian man will come and
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
But there was even a call for parliamentary inquiry into that. No, but I think.
No. When you were talking, I kept quiet.
Okay,
I kept quiet.
Yeah. Okay, just go ahead. Just go ahead.
I'm saying that the $130 million frontier COVID testing scandal. Have you heard of any prosecution?
Yeah, but Frontiers was a scandal, you agree?
I said, which was the scandal? The scandal is that you said a scandal in opposition. You come to power. You come to power, and you are even given the opportunity. Then you list these ones as part of your scandal, as part of your scandals. Then some months down the line to a year now, nobody is being prosecuted on this matter. It doesn't mean that all the cases. It doesn't mean no. You being the host is not being fair.
No, go ahead. No, you said you want to speak. Just go ahead.
And I listen.
Yeah, go ahead. I think I get you.
They should also to talk.
Go ahead. Yes, just go ahead.
No, I'm excited the way you are pushing the government. I'm so excited.
Of course,
I am excited.
No, okay. So you like okay. I think okay. So okay.
I'll go there. I'll go there.
All right. Okay.
85 million stadium renovation. Who is being prosecuted? It's 1 year down the line. What you do is that if you think that there was a scandal with it, you gather your documents, you start the prosecution. So on what basis? If they didn't have the document, in fact, they even brought when you even go to the document, there are some documents attached to it. What happened to this document? Where is the prosecution on this matter? I said I abhor corruption, but I also won't let you lie. It's the same. That's why I'm saying that on the issue of 1.4 billion assets being frozen by this government, 1.5 billion
frozen.
Cities frozen in regards to issues of corruption.
You say assets. Assets.
Frozen assets. In regards to corruption, all right, I'm saying that we are going to push the government spokesperson to give us the details of this.
And when you say we, you mean your party?
Of course, don't worry, we are planning it.
Okay,
we should get ready for it.
Right, okay,
Now, let's go to...
Oh, you have another case there?
Yeah,
okay.
3 billion SMS scandal.
in charge.
Yeah.
Very much aware that the Office of the Special Prosecutor is on that matter. And I'm also very much aware that the Office of the Attorney General is on this matter. And this is where I do have a problem.
Okay.
Where I have a problem is that I think, from where I said, I think that the former finance minister should avail himself to be questioned on this matters. That is my position on it.
Okay.
I still stand on it.
Okay.
10 toes on it with full chest.
Okay.
I am saying that he should avail himself, because the longer he delays on this matter, even if he's not able to be being extradited to this country, at the end of the day, it is the political party that will face it. And he's not bigger than the political.
But most of the things he caused it.
No, calm down, bro. Calm down, calm down. When you say most of the things he caused it,
the finance minister, the former finance minister.
Why don't you hold him to
tell the government to go and bring him?
No.
It's your party member.
I don't think you are being fair to me.
No, just go ahead.
But it's your party member.
Nobody is stopping you. No, but go ahead. I'm giving you the time.
What about
just go ahead. No, nobody. He didn't interview.
On national service.
Yes.
Those who are culpable.
Yes.
Were in Yoko custody
for some time. Yes.
Before they were granted bail.
Yeah.
On issue of the buffer stock, there's been prosecution that started on it.
Right.
So when he says that Ken Ofori Atta started to cause all the problems, I'm asking him, why is it that Gyamfi and co are rather facing prosecution? They'll say
because that concerns the NSS.
But they are here.
That concerns what?
The NSS and the buffer stock.
He said Ken Ofori Atta caused all those problems. And I'm saying that finance minister makes all payments.
Yes, he's your partner. Tell him to come home.
To all agencies. So what prevents them from going for finance minister and relation to the NSS if he's making?
Okay, so I think, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, because you don't want anyone to ask you a question, no one to talk.
Okay,
can I
ask me the question?
Okay, now I can ask you.
Asking questions. When they were all speaking, I just heard my.
Oh, but let me ask you. Let me ask you so you can. Let me ask you so you can.
Watch.
No,
when they were just.
I think so. Let me ask you. Yeah, let me ask you. Okay, so let me ask you this one. How many cases, I mean, practically speaking, can an Attorney General take up at a time?
How many cases?
Yeah, practically speaking.
That's not my work.
Yeah, that's not your work. But so you lack expertise on how many cases you can run on a time.
Doesn't he hold press conference?
He does.
Doesn't he hold press conference?
Yes.
Do interview and list number of cases?
Yes.
So you can ask me the number of cases.
No, I'm saying that practically speaking, I'm not saying.
When we say the office of the Attorney General.
Don't hold brief for him. The Attorney General. The guy is there in Attorney General that you are not doing your work.
I am saying that
he's missing cases upon cases that the government has not done anything about it. And I'm happy that he's an NPP man who's saying that. And I think that he should take a phone and call his finance minister, because you are protecting your party. You say individual.
Who should pick your phone and call the
Oh, you are the party member. You can call your brother.
Pick your phone and call.
Come home.
Brother who? Why haven't you called send out to new Tamaklo to also come home? Why haven't you called?
Okay, so are you telling? I'm asking you a practical question. How many cases can an AG
when we talk about the office of the Attorney General, it doesn't necessarily mean that the Attorney General a single individual. It's the whole office. All right. So if you really mean that you want to prosecute, all right, you need to pick all the documents and assign it to your officers so that they will be following up the cases. My position on the matter is, I say I abhor corruption. I don't like corruption. But my issue with this case is that there are a lot of things that were written in this ones that were just more on, okay, let's just give a dog a bad name and hang it. Exactly the point I'm making. And I've mentioned some of the presumed scandals registered here.
Are you saying that there was no case of looting or corruption under the Akufo Addo?
Who have you jailed?
Okay, so once someone is not jailed, your assumption
who have you jailed?
No, I'm saying that once someone is not jailed, your assumption is that no corruption ever happened.
When Police made his statement in Parliament, he did say that this asset has been frozen.
I'm saying that your assumption is that once you haven't.
Let me land. Let me land with the full stop.
Okay.
I'm saying that one person who actually made the case. He said that this asset has been frozen until prosecution is completed and they are found guilty. There's nothing we can do about it than to freeze the asset. Okay. So he is saying that the state has the power to freeze those assets. All right? And also respect their rights of the individuals involved. I hope you understand.
Okay.
So until somebody is prosecuted, all right, and the person is jailed or the person is found culpable of that offense, you cannot say the person is a criminal.
Okay.
You get my point?
Oh, you wanted to come in briefly. Okay, before I bring in something. Yes, something.
I think we need to set the record straight. Like I tried to explain why this Ora came up with this document and the scale of prosecution. You see, prosecution with the Office of the Attorney General is ongoing. There are a number of cases. The question is, how many can the AG prosecute?
Yeah, but he's saying how many were jailed. So.
No, it's not about jail.
What is he talking about?
These are
is that not an office?
These are criminal cases.
What are you talking about?
You need to prove beyond every reasonable doubt. It's not on the balance of probability.
So you don't sit there and call them scandals. So it's as simple as that. That's the opposition making.
Please.
You made those noise in opposition. Now you have the power to prosecute. And you are still around
the fact of the matter is that there are ongoing investigations. Some of these things are still undergoing investigation.
And over 1 year, you cannot put up a prosecution document. Over 1 year, you can't put up a prosecution document. I am challenging the government. I am challenging them. I'm in opposition. I say go for them.
People are watching.
I know.
Simple as that.
Yeah, he says go for that.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that investigations are ongoing. Yes, it is proper and right for the Attorney General to speed up because it is whole agency that can take series of cases at a time because it is my interest to seal the back of criminals who stole our money in prison. You understand?
Good.
It is the interest of every young people because just to send a message to people out there that politics is not an avenue or a ticket to unholy wealth. That is the message and the
we shall hold you to your words on issue of risk.
The Attorney General is currently working.
He said you retreat from
people are watching us.
People are watching. When you were interjecting me,
I didn't.
When you were interjecting me,
Please. So the point is that yes, the prosecution needs to speed up, but it doesn't mean that some of these cases are not being investigated. And again, on the case of the Bank of Ghana,
I think I'll come to you.
The Bank of Ghana. It is really shameful for somebody who was part of the previous administration to sit here and ask Ghanaians what has become of this case. Because the whole investigation started under Akufo Addo. And at the end of the day, the person was cleared. And Cecilia, the power was cleared.
Which administration was cleared?
So
she was cleared under your administration.
It's very shameful for you to sit here. No. It's very shameful to sit on TV.
So let me hear from something.
It's my time.
She was cleared under your administration. The case go on. But assuming that she wasn't cleared, she was cleared under administration.
Yeah,
you name it as a scandal under Ora.
What
you go into it and prosecute the more.
Okay, I'll come.
Simple.
I'll give you the time.
Don't on top of
okay.
Simple.
I think I'll come to you. So
this is highly unnecessary.
Yes. Okay. So I'll come to you. I think
the banking sector.
Yes.
That is not a scam. That is the actual reality, and the data, the documents are quite there. So you will need to do proper investigation to proceed with investigation. The Sputnik V scandal is there, has to be prosecuted, has to be investigated and prosecuted. You understand? Then you need to do proper criminal inquiry into some of these cases. And I'm saying that the cases are one too many. And you should even be shocked that such many corruption were allowed to happen under a government that promised to protect the peace of this country. Ghanaians are angry today. Ghanaians are angry at the NDC government for not prosecuting and jailing people they perceive to be criminals. That alone is a big statement. You understand? And these were not facts which were manufactured. The NDC did not manufacture the PDS. The NDC did not manufacture the Sputnik V.
waiting for?
So you need to take that. How long did it take?
Who is in court?
Listen.
Who is in court?
Listen.
The issue is not about the prosecution. The issue is about taking the issue to court. Who is in court in relation to PDS? Simple as that. Who is in court?
This thing is turning into.
Okay, no.
Please, you are not bleeding. You need to apologize to me.
No. I am not worried. I am not worried.
I think I'll give you the time.
Apologize to me.
Okay, I'm doing that. It's okay.
If there is anybody to apologize, I think you should go on your knees and apologize to the people of this country for how you mess up.
You should go on your knees and apologize to the people of this country.
Let me hear you. Samson, let me hear you.
I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to.
I know, but
no.
We will do it.
Gentlemen, let's not do this.
We will do it.
You understand?
I give you that respect.
Please, just I'll give you the time. I'll give you both the time. I'll give you the time.
I'm ready to go on.
Okay, I know. Okay. So just hold on.
I am ready.
I think I'll give you the time. That's what I said. Yes. I think so. I said I'll give you the time. So now the agreement is
as long as
the agreement is
as long as our viewers are deciding enough.
Of course, they are deciding know that you started it.
And I think I'll give you the time.
So the fact of the matter is that we are all worried about the slow pace of prosecution, and it's because the issues are also packed up. You understand?
Yeah.
So government will have to make a certain kind of commitment and prosecute these cases at a very speedy fashion for Ghanaians to have that particular peace of mind. And indeed, the very criminals who use 8 years to rob this country, rape the resources of this country, were not just mere speculations and conjecture, but rather they were actual corruption. And these people have been prosecuted. You understand? And I am saying that you cannot use 1 year to investigate a whole gamut of corrupt activities and expect everybody back in court. It is highly unreasonable to make such assumptions. You understand? So it is a time. Today, people are
in prosecution.
Today, people are facing prosecution. There are others in line. You understand? So it's not as if the Attorney General has folded his arms, sitting and then watching on consent.
Okay, Ivan,
is that
let me hear from
it will have to be done at a time. Yes, I appreciate you need to go quick, but don't sit here and underscore the fact that there is nothing happening.
Okay,
we all want to see them. And again, the most important part of this thing,
briefly,
the major person sitting at the center of this whole criminal enterprise that we which must be investigated is Ken Ofori Atta, who is sitting somewhere today. He's a fugitive, a criminal fugitive, sitting on somebody's.
No, but he's not being convicted yet.
No. Tabako has been convicted. Yes. She is the criminal. She is the criminal. Go for her first. Go for her first. She is the criminal.
I'm sitting somewhere. On this platform.
It has no interest you, but proprietor has interest you.
Okay.
You see your hypocrisy.
On several occasions. The last time when I came here, I advocated that she should be brought home. You understand? I don't care who got himself involved in corruption.
Okay, let me hear from Samson. Let's hear from Samson. Let's hear from Samson.
Okay, so you see, I have a different view, but I'm excited in the way. The way my brother Atik from the New Patriotic Party came vociferous, fearless, to challenge or to dare the government. He's daring the government, not only the Attorney General. And I agree with him that the ease and the space that the orals should have gone, we are not seeing it. Ghanaians are not seeing it. And it was a thumb card for NDC in the leading to the 2024 election. I am also excited that it is not PNC, CPP, or other political party that is there in the government, but the one who left government a year ago said that if you think that my people were corrupt, prosecute them. I like Akufo Addo, President Akufo Addo, former President Akufo Addo's Attorney General. What was his name?
Oh, you mean Godfred Nam?
Godfred Nam.
Or the other one?
Godfred Nam.
Okay, all right.
He was Attorney General, isn't it?
Yeah, there was one before. So
no, the lady was there, but it was moved.
Yeah, Godfred, yeah.
So when Godfred came, he can take people, even on Sundays, you go to court.
Really?
In daily basis, you go to court. And he was always in court. The work of the Attorney General is get like the Minister of Agriculture. You're supposed to be out there, you're not supposed to be sitting in your office. We saw Govt Adame taking people, even Ato Forson, who's now the finance minister.
Yes.
They were taken into court in daily basis so that they can't even go to their constituencies to campaign. In hourly basis. And you will see Govt Adame. All the media used to be there to be reported. You will always see Govt Adame in court. And so we want to see the same. The lawyer, the Attorney General lawyer is my brother-in-law. Tell him that he should stop ranting. He should stop ranting. If he cannot do the job, he should get out of the court, the office, and let President Mahama bring somebody who would take people in daily basis to court. These NPP people, they are smart.
Yeah, but he's telling you that you can't just put out a claim and say that the people are...
Those that he found culpable.
Yeah.
In terms of to prosecute.
Yes.
How many of them are in court? That's what
yes, but that's what he's telling you. Yes, that's what he's asking.
How many of them? If they projected it 20, how much? What was the figure?
21.19
billion. How many of them has he taken to court so far? And are they going to court? Did he enter for daily basis? Or as when they can?
I mean, let's be fair to the age, isn't it? I was just telling. I was just asking.
There was another age on the. He's not the first age to be on the scene.
So there are some ages that will go.
There were an age who take people to court in daily basis.
They had time, do investigation, had the cases profile. Then you can proceed with such evidence. But at this stage,
you can't tell me that 1 year. When was last time President Mahama hand over this document to Attorney General? When was last time? It wasn't last year.
Yeah, last year.
I can't remember the month, but I remember it was last year that they handed over. Are you telling me till now they haven't done even 10% of the cases investigation? Some of the cases, do they need to even investigate? Some of the things that he made mention, do they even need to? Because it was reality. Is it not true that somebody came to airport there and they were collecting money?
Yeah, and someone was collecting.
Is it not true that?
He says that does not amount to corruption. That's what I think is right.
No.
Is it not true?
No one is being jailed. Okay, no one is being jailed.
Is it not true that former health minister said that he wasn't thinking right when he
did a Sputnik?
Because it was the exigency of the case. He didn't think right. He said it. He wasn't in Parliament or
Parliament. Yeah,
that he wasn't think. He didn't think right. Is it not true that they went and saw real money, fiscal money, at Cecilia Dapa house, and they said they counted till daybreak? I wasn't there. Where's the?
They did what? They were counting the money.
They counted the money till those who went. They said they counted.
A special prosecutor.
Yeah, they said they counted the money till daybreak.
Wow.
Now they said they sent the case to Yoko. Yoko said bring the document. Attorney General. You know, it became a conflict between the OSP office and the Attorney General. So he's right. My brother, I think, is absolutely right. Oh, if he had sent me the list, I would have also go through the list and tell you some of the cases that he made mention are reality.
Oh, okay.
We don't need Ghanaians know. Okay, take them to court, and if court leave them to go, then we all know that you took them to court, but court let them go. If you want to do due diligence, stop talking. The office of the Attorney General is not a communicator. It's to be based on law, based on evidence. He's supposed to be going to court.
Yeah,
he's the lawyer for the president.
So should we not praise the AG for that? Because the Attorney General is also Minister for Justice, right? And
the Attorney General wants public sympathy.
He must do well to every.
The Attorney General
must do well to every Ghanaian.
Attorney General wants
people are fatty. People are going to court. That has to be also, that has to be underscored. People are going to court on a daily basis.
And yes.
No, among all the corruption cases.
No. He said we are talking of specific.
No. But Ora is
specific issue. Okay. Ora is recovered. The Attorney General, you said he was on Bolare program and said because of Ora, his office is flooded with what?
Okay,
with pressure. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
And I think that stop talking.
Okay, let me.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.